Hey there, how's it going? What is up, everybody? Irish Orangutan is back to pass along what you need to know to get better at Madden and grow your Mutt team. Enjoy the show. We are here to talk about the top five quarterbacks that were drafted this year and that do have players in the game at this point. The first guy we'll be looking at is Kyler Murray, Mr. Number One. So we hope that he does have that quick release, so we will have a good mobile quarterback to play with for years to come. Getting into that first instant replay for Kyler Murray, we can see what his throw looks like. Does reach back a little bit, but that is a pretty solid motion. Thankfully, there was not anyone to throw over. I'm a little bit interested to see what his middle pass is going to look like, but not a lot of wasted motion there. Very similar to what Mahomes looks like, just on a slightly smaller frame. And we will be kicking it out to Moss there over about the 30-yard line, maybe a little bit before that. And we were able to get him open a little bit further, so I'm excited to see a little bit further down the field and see if he did have any arc on that pass at all. Hopefully that's the last time that we open up the instant replay a little bit early. Most of the time we just cut those out anyway, but sadly that was showing. So we have a look at Kyler here. Let's see if we have a little bit of a dip. Everything stays above the shoulder. That actually looks really good again. And it has pretty good arc. That, for the most part, is going to be getting over middle linebackers. So that is very exciting to see as well. And we have one more throw for Kyler off to the left over to Andre Reed. We'll see what we can get done over there. That looked good as well. He has a really compact frame, so everything that he does is pretty quick, but I really do like the way that he throws. He does have a little bit of that Drew Brees in him. I think it looks similar to Drew Brees, maybe just because of the compact size, but again, not that much of a... does not get the arm too far back. So it doesn't drop the shoulder, doesn't do anything like that, just keeps it up and has a nice toss out there. Hopefully he keeps that same throwing motion going into next year, and he will be absolutely elite because that's very quick and throws very, very well. And the next man we have up is Daniel Jones. I probably will have him in the lineup twice. This is one of those times. This is the new Giants quarterback. Hopefully he plays terrible for him and I can just appreciate him in that way. Oh, and that is the first incompletion over the middle to anybody so far. They did play some pretty good defense, but we'll see a little bit in the instant replay exactly why that didn't go very well. So we are here with Daniel Jones. See if something went a little bit far back. That looks a little bit awkward in the release almost, but again, the defense was just there that time. If I would have waited, there would have been another guy, and he would just been a little bit more buried into the defense. So first throw with Daniel Jones didn't go very well. Not that far of a drop back, but again, just not really getting the whole body behind it. So that's probably why if that is how he throws exactly in real life, that's probably why he has some issues getting some extra zip behind it. A little bit of user errors, so we are starting back over first down, but we're going to be throwing that intermediate route to Randy Moss, trying to gun it out there and see what Daniel Jones can get done. That looked pretty good, actually. It seems pretty quick, pretty compact, arching back. McNabb definitely wings it farther back. Could have that quick release, could be very helpful in the league, throwing some of those short passes, especially if he cannot throw the ball quite as strongly as some other guys. He can anticipate, and with that quick release, might be able to get the ball out there in enough time. So we are again looking at that middle route, and that looks like an NFL arm going in the middle. Um, Barely cocks anything back. It's almost straight up motion and then out. But again, almost seems a little bit awkward and almost seems a little bit more of like a shot put towards the end. So I kind of do hope Mr. Daniel Jones does throw the way that he is throwing today because it is not anything that stands out necessarily. It does look a little bit awkward. It has not been anything terrible, so hopefully it is something that just kind of carries through and he can struggle through that with the Giants. And we are looking at that last deep pass for Daniel Jones. The first two were a little bit awkward looking, so hopefully we can get that. That actually looked the most natural of all the passes. Taking a little bit off of it and just throwing a nice arcing pass out there actually looked pretty good. Didn't pull back too far or anything like that. Um, Again, has the same kind of follow through as Lamar, but has a little bit more of an arc on the ball with that. His arc is a little bit lower than Kyler's, so that is something to concern yourself with. But let's get into the last three guys. We are on to our next two quarterbacks. We have Drew Lock, and we will be looking at Will Grier here in a second, and we'll be changing out and get Haskins in the Redskins lineup here in a little bit. That seemed powerful for some reason. Understand why Elway would have went out and gotten him. Definitely has a big arm behind him. Don't know why, but that windup looked powerful. I don't know. It wasn't quick. I don't know necessarily. We'll check that out here in a second. So a little bit of wasted motion, a little bit of a wing around, and definitely brings the ball down low, but definitely uses his motion to get the ball out there. So definitely will be able to throw the ball pretty well, but will be a little bit behind on getting the ball out there compared to definitely what a Daniel Jones was, but definitely doesn't have the arms of what this lock does have. On the previous play, we did take a sack, so didn't want to show that in the video, but we will be able to get that Drew Lock pass out there out to the right side. A little bit of a medium pass out to Randy Moss. Definitely you have seen that a couple of times, and will be coming out a couple times more. But that is a very distinct pass. Those are thrown frequently, especially with those crossers, so definitely want to be showing you that. So doesn't drop it quite as badly, but again does drop it. I'm going to be interested to see how he does throw the ball. They are going to need to work on that a little bit if that is exactly how he does throw in real life. Going into Madden 20, hopefully that does change a little bit. His trajectory is a little bit lower than some of those other quarterbacks that we have seen, but he is throwing that about on a rope there. Throwing on a line you can think is a good thing. We'll be able to get the ball there a little bit quicker, but again, a little bit nervous about getting that picked off by one of those linebackers. Hopefully the line can hold up on this one and we get the ball tossed out there, and that one looked pretty. He does look really good throwing the ball down the field. For some reason, his player, this character, and the way that he does play just seems like down the field is where the ball needs to be going. I wouldn't say throwing with him was necessarily awkward, short, but it didn't seem as natural as that middle pass and throwing deep. You can, yeah, he definitely drops it a little bit as well there, at least to start in the drop back, and he definitely throws it straight up in the air. But that was a little bit further down the field than a couple of the passes that we have thrown, but that was absolutely gorgeous there. Just going to take one more quick little peek at that. Yeah. I like that. He's definitely going to be a down the field thrower without working with that play action. Hopefully he can just sit a year and he'll be magnificent what he does. Next man up is Will Greer. I am excited to see what he can do for the Panthers if Cam Newton cannot come back in. I have not seen a lot of him. Do watch a lot of Big 12, but have not seen nearly as many or enough of his games. Definitely know he can swing it around there pretty well, though. So couldn't tell too much just from that initial pass. So looking at it a little bit more of a slow-mo. Um, Definitely drops the ball back a little bit, but definitely gets the body behind it there. Almost seems like a little bit more of a gunslinger without having gunslinger on him. Don't mind that too much. Pretty natural, but he almost gets back to where a McNabb would be with his throwing. Going to take a little bit longer to get out there, but definitely gets the whole body behind it. So Kyler Murray and Mahomes and now Greer and McNabb are looking a little bit similar. We'll see if some of these that actually, now that I'm starting to look at that again, I can see a little bit of McNabb in that throw as well. To be honest, McNabb made me rethink how much I am using him, to be honest. So giving him that comp was not necessarily a great thing. Definitely McNabb played tremendously in real life. But he pulls the ball back a little bit too far as you throw a little bit further down the field. Definitely is pulling it back a little bit less, which is solid at least with this player model. So that's pretty solid. His middle pass looks a little bit better, and definitely will be a little bit more accurate down there as well. Looking at the arc, not that bad. Actually, I really like that. He has a little bit more of a touch on his ball. We'll see what he looks like throwing the ball down here deep to the left out to Andre Reed. And thankfully we were able to catch up to that with Andre Reed. That was a pretty nice pass as well. I really do like the touch that he puts on the ball. Actually have to try him out a little bit more. Again, the further he threw the ball down the field, the less the windup concerned me, to be honest, and the better he threw the ball. To be honest, if he throws the ball exactly like that in real life, Panthers may have gotten a huge steal and someone they can trade in a year or so for a first round pick. That is really exciting. Hopefully he comes out. Panthers already have a good quarterback, so hopefully you're able to come out and play with him the same way you would be able to play with a Cam Newton or just go out and get him traded away. And we will get into Haskins and the wrap up here in just 1 second. The last man up today, we have switched out the teams a little bit, so I won't be throwing to Owens, Moss, and Reed. We'll be having Vernon Davis running that slant. Ooh, and did have that linebacker try to jump in front of it. Thankfully, we're able to get it out there this time. Haskins definitely has that gun. So here we are with Haskins in that instant replay. Going to see how quickly he can get rid of the ball and some of those short passes. Definitely looks a little bit more awkward, almost to the point of what a Daniel Jones was looking like. So that is not ideal. But again, very compact throwing motion, has a strong arm. So the strong arm makes that look a little bit different, to be honest, thankfully. So hopefully he's able to throw just those short touch passes. That was almost Dan Marino-esque. Doesn't necessarily have the best wheels, so am looking forward to a solid pocket passer for the Washington Redskins for years to come. I guess we still do have an Andre Reed, but we'll be tossing to him in a different direction over there to the right, a little bit more a bullet pass. And we do have someone sitting over there, Darius Slay. little bit slower version of him. Did not get his hands up, but we will see. Got into the all Redskins team. I just that's all that is. Um, all right, we have Haskins here again. We'll be tossing the ball out to the right in the middle. Definitely be gunning the ball out there. And we have him here sliding up in the pocket. That looked really solid. Again, Marino is what made me, or is the first thing that I did think of. He maneuvers pretty well against those larger guys, and that actually looks pretty solid. Was a little bit concerned that he was looking like a Daniel Jones, but he's looking a little bit more Marino-esque the more that I look at that. So we have one more pass, and we'll be done looking at the releases for the rookies. Very excited to see Haskins looking a little bit better than Daniel Jones anyway. It looked very similar with a short pass, but slightly less awkward anyway. And Deshaun Jackson was just too fast, couldn't even get him stopped there. Hopefully we can look at that replay, otherwise we'll be looking at that one more time. So, was not able to look at the replay. I'm just going to leave that in there because that was absolutely beautiful. But I did remember why I was not scoring touchdowns on those, and I was just going down after we had caught the ball. If I do score, I'm not able to look at the highlights. So, even went in to check the view highlights and did not work. So we are now able to go in and check that out now. So we have him backed up against his own end zone, but have a little bit more of a loft pass out there for him. Sliding up in the pocket. That was pretty solid, actually. Nice loft to the pass. Traveled a great distance. Again, he has a little bit bigger arm than some of the other quarterbacks of the rookie class, especially, but yeah, very excited about the way that he tosses the ball, especially if we were able to get someone like a Deshaun Jackson ever back into our wide receiver core. So that will conclude what we have today for those 5 rookie quarterbacks. Very excited to look at Haskins, Greer, Murray, Jones, and Locke. Do have one more pass hopefully left in us. That can go well, but very excited about all these guys' releases and what they will be looking like going into next year. So Deshaun Jackson again can just run past everybody. But that's what we have for today. Let me know what your quarterback looked like down below, or if there are other quarterbacks you are curious about what they're able to do in the pocket. I know Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes will have a tremendous ability to get the ball out quickly next year, as they've already alluded to that. So players will play very close to what they have played in the past. And as we noticed, Mahomes did get the ball out quickly, and that is very close to what a Kyler Murray could do as well. Thank you for checking into the Irish Orangutan channel. Keep coming back for more Madden knowledge. There will be consistent videos up every week, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to see them all. Come by Twitch to engage and hit me up on Twitter at Irish Orangutan. Take care and much love, everybody.